So what do you do when you have to go through the hard times? What are you going to do when you have to go through the difficult times? Appreciate your goodness. It taught me how to appreciate your grace and mercy. The hard times that you're facing, they're actually good times, but you got to get on the other side of that.
No matter what you go through, keep dreaming. Keep going, don't quit, keep reaching. You can be the best you want to be, gotta believe it. Keep the faith, the mustard seed is all needed. You gotta want it as bad as you breathe. My journey and your journey different, but unique.
Good morning and welcome back to the Keep Dreaming podcast. This is episode 7 that we are tackling on today, and so I'm very grateful and thankful that you are still tuning in, still rocking with me. And so I got a great episode for you on today, but I'm gonna start off by getting just a little bit vulnerable. You see, when I was a child, I was afraid of the dark. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my secret, go ahead and tell you my fear. I was afraid of the dark. I couldn't see in the dark, and so I used to imagine monsters, creatures, all of these different things. And the reality is that I associated dark with hard. And that plagued me even up until adulthood, where I still at times have trouble sleeping in the dark. I have to have some type of TV on, some type of light, some type of noise, because the darkness, it just bothers me. It bottles me. And so I have a hard time with it. And so the way that I categorize it is that, again, I categorize dark with hard. Hard, you don't know where the exit sign is. You don't know where the answer is very burdensome on you. And that's what I would relate to darkness. The opposite of that is light. Anytime there's light, you can see the exit, you can see the pathway, you can see the route. It's a little bit easier. So when I was thinking about today's title, today's topic, especially when we're talking about evolving, I got to go through the darkness. I got to go through the hard times. I got to be able to embrace the trials, the tribulations, and the burdens in order to get to the greater version of myself. But in today's society, a lot of people run from that. A lot of people run from hard. A lot of people run from difficult times. And the crazy thing about it is, though you may run, it's still going to find you. So what do you do when you have to go through the hard times? What are you going to do when you have to go through the difficult times? Which is why I have titled today's episode, Hard Times. So I'm drinking an Americano today. And basically an Americano is just hot water and 2 double shots of espresso. And so I needed just a bit of a kick on today. And so this is my first time ever making an Americano. So I'm very proud. It tastes very good. But anyways, if you got your coffee, your tea, your mug, let's get a cheers. Now let's jump into today's episode. Darkness, hard times, they all relate. So when I was thinking about a movie, I'm a big Batman fanatic. I love Batman. Although many consider him not a true superhero, I beg to differ. Like, he's one of the coolest people because he has no, supernatural powers. He has, human powers. And so that's why I love Batman. But anyways, Batman, there's a movie, Batman Dark Knight Rises. And so in this movie, Bruce Wayne, who is Batman, he is fighting a villain. And in this movie, he is thrown into this pit. He's thrown into this pit, and he has to work himself out of that pit. But in this pit, he has to face all of his fears. Batman used to be afraid of the darkness, of bats. And so he has to face his fears in order to conquer their darkness in his life, in order to come out of that, number one, so the villain can't use that against him anymore. But then number 2, he has to find a new pathway, a new exit, a new light despite the darkness. See, he realizes that the darkness will always follow him, but there will be moments where he can find light in the darkness. And so that was a movie that I really resonated with when I was thinking about this, because hard times, they're not going to leave. I got to be willing to find the light within the darkness. I got to be willing to find the easy route within the hard times. I got to be able to switch my mind, switch my perspective, despite what may be going on in my reality. I just can't up and run. I just can't up and take up my bags and dip out. I can't do that, especially when I'm trying to chase my dreams, when I'm trying to create a family, when I'm trying to create a business, when I'm trying to do God's will. I can't chunk the deuces and exit out. And a lot of people do that. And so when I was thinking about that movie, the principles that surround it was a great, relatable movie that applied to this topic. But when I think about my own life, and I've had many different trials and tribulations, but one season that was extremely dark, where I battled depression, where I had just different types of thoughts. I was very alcoholic during this time. It was when I went through one of the biggest breakups that I ever faced. You see, I was dating somebody around 2015 to 2017, and in that time, I thought that this was going to be the person that I married. How many times have we all kind of fallen for that story? And that's okay, that's life. But I had put so much into this situation that when this situation ended, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. I couldn't see my way out of nothing. Like, it was the darkest season that I had ever faced. It was the first time that I felt like I was really facing depression. I had the hardest time really getting up off of my feet and getting back to what I would consider life. And so during this hard time, I was plagued with a lot of different thoughts of like, what should I do? Alcohol was kind of my go-to during that time. And so I was drinking every single day. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything that provided light. If anything, I was pouring more into the darkness. You see, when you start to drink, when you start to, do habitual sins, things of that nature, you actually create more darkness. And so what I found is that those things did not help. When I was drinking, getting drunk, it did not take away the heartbreak. It did not take away the pain. And so all of those different things kept that darkness around me. But it wasn't until I started to pray. It wasn't until I started to put my hope in God. It wasn't until I started to believe in myself again. I started to go work out again, one day at a time. I started to pick myself up off the floor. Now, hear me well. I had to cry many days. I did a lot of complaining to my friends during this time, but I had to find a way to get to the light. I couldn't check out. Too many people were dependent on me. Too many people loved me. More importantly, God loved me. And so God's love compiled with my friends' love, my family's love, and just my own love for myself and my own love for my dreams, I slowly, just like Batman did in Dark Knight Rises, when he picked himself up off of the ground and started to climb out of the hole, I picked myself up off the floor, and I started to climb out of that hole that I was in, and I started to find the light. But what I had to do, what I had to learn, I had to embrace the darkness that was around me. You see, I had to face the heartbreak, not run from it. There were moments where I was trying to run from it, but I had to learn to face it. What did I do wrong in that situation? Where was I lacking? What signs did I miss? Did God tell me to pursue that person? Did I disobey God? Was I disobedient? I had to face myself. Why was I so attached? Did I have abandonment issues? Did I have issues from my childhood that played into that relationship? It was a lot of different things that I had to learn to face, a lot of weaknesses that I had to learn to face. But when I faced it, it helped me to embrace that dark season in my life. And then I was able to find the light. Then I was able to get up off the floor. Then I was able to find a brighter horizon despite the darkness that was around me. Now, even today, when I think back over that past relationship, I'm so grateful for that experience in my life because I learned so much about life, but I also learned so much about myself. And so that's the thing about hard times. Like, if you go through it, you actually learn more on the other side about yourself that can help you to grow and can help you to go forward in life. But let me tell you about something. So there's a scientific term called darkness adaptation. Darkness adaptation. Now, what I mean by that is that have you ever been just in darkness and you were there long enough that you actually were able to see, like your eyes adjusted to the darkness? Now, you couldn't see anything like as clear as the light, but you could see little things like your eyes became adjusted. What I've learned is that if you sit in the darkness long enough, you actually become adjusted to the dark. Now, we're not going to stay in the darkness, but from a fear tactic, from a fear standpoint, we often think that when darkness comes, oh, we can't see. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. But if you sit there, if you be patient, if you allow yourself to become acclimated in that season, acclimated in that hard time, acclimated in that trial, acclimated in that tribulation, your eyes start to adjust. If I can start to adjust, then I can start to see a little bit. Once I start to see a little bit, then I know exactly where to move just a little bit. Maybe not a whole lot, but maybe one step at a time, one foot at a time. But I got to be able to adapt, which means I got to be able to rest in the darkness. Not everybody is able to rest. As soon as the lights switch out, boom, they're ready to run. They're ready to take off. And I've been there. But if you just wait a minute, if you sit there just for a little bit, darkness adaptation starts to take place, and your eyes become adjusted, your body becomes adjusted, your mind becomes adjusted, and you start to find your way out of the darkness. You start to see the light despite the darkness that surrounds you. And so that's going to be something for you to sit with when darkness hits you next time. You see, my goal today is to give you some tools, some weapons to use, because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but God has come to give us life. And I'm here today to give you the weapons and the tools that you need to be able to adapt, but to also be able to attack. We got to be able to embrace these hard times because they're not going to go. And if I'm trying to evolve and trying to get to this place that God has called me to get to, I got to have as many weapons and tools as I need to defeat the enemy with all his different tactics. Now, you know I had to find a Bible story for this one. When we're talking about hard times, when we're talking about darkness, there's a king in the Bible, King Hezekiah. And I'm coming from Isaiah chapter 38. And I'm going to read here out of the Message version. But King Hezekiah, he was plagued with a sickness, and he was told that he was about to die. Like, I don't know if you've ever been told that, but I can only imagine being told straight to my face, I'm about to die. And so he goes into like this depressive state, and he's crying out to God for God to spare his life. But again, this is a very dark moment for him. And so ultimately, he ends up praying and God spares his life. But I want to read what King Hezekiah ends up saying after all of this. And so this is Isaiah chapter 38, and I'm going to read verses 16 through 19, where it says, "O Master, these are the conditions in which people live. And yes, in these very conditions, my spirit is still alive, fully recovered with a fresh infusion of life." Here we go. "It seems it was good for me to go through all those troubles. Throughout them all, you held tight to my lifeline. You never let me tumble over the edge into nothing, but my sins you let go of. You threw them over your shoulder. Good riddance." And so this is King Hezekiah after he's gone through that hard time, after he's gone through that tumultuous season where he's telling God, man, thank you for that season. It was good for me that I was afflicted. It was good that I went through those hard times because it taught me something. It taught me how to appreciate life. It taught me how to appreciate your goodness. It taught me how to appreciate your grace and mercy. The hard times that you're facing, they're actually good times, but you got to get on the other side of that. You got to be able to make it through it. Right now, you can't see it, but you got to flip the switch. You got to flip your perspective and know that whatever that hard time you're facing is doing something inside of you. It's changing something inside of you. It's growing something inside of you. But a lot of times society tells us, oh, you should have this grand life. You should have this beautiful life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have it, but that's not where we're at. We're on earth. We're not in heaven. Heaven is a perfect place. Earth is not. So if earth is not a perfect place, it means I'm going to have my good days. It's going to have my bad days. But I got to be able to embrace the bad days just as well as I embrace the good days. Just as much as I want this sunshine, I got to be willing to accept the rain, because just as much as the sun going to help me grow, the rain is going to help me grow. But I got to be willing to embrace it and know that God is doing a work within me that's going to be good. I might not feel like it. I might not like it, but ultimately it's going to be for my good. And that's what King Hezekiah talks about in Isaiah chapter 38, but it was good for me. And so when I think back just over different literatures that I've read, I have a special literature that I actually wrote. And I'm going to read a little excerpt out of here. If you get a chance, I want you to go check out my autobiography, The Black Accountant. But I actually talk about that hard time, that breakup that I went through. But I want to read just a little bit of an excerpt out of this to let you know that it's going to be greater on the other side of that hard time. Hear me well. God's plans will always triumph over whatever decisions or plans we make. Even when we get off track or the correct path, we may have to take the long road back home, but eventually God will direct us back home. Whatever decision that you made that has led to maybe a hard time, or even if you're just facing a hard time just because of life, you got to trust and believe that God is going to lead you back home. God is going to lead you back to the light. God is going to lead you back to the correct path in your life. It may take the long road or it may be the short road, but nevertheless, you can find comfort. You can find peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding, that he will lead you back home. He will lead you back to the light. Darkness can't last forever. In Genesis, darkness was on the earth, and then God said, let there be light. So if you are facing dark times, I'm going to give you another tool, another weapon. You have the command, just as the Creator gave us, let there be light. If you're facing financial struggles, God, let there be light. If you're facing facing relationship woes, God, let there be light. Whatever it is that you're facing in your life right now, on today, command, God, let there be light. And watch that situation turn around for you. Watch wisdom come into the picture. Watch discernment come into the picture. Watch the answers come into the picture. You got to be able to command the world, command the environment that's around you. We give power to our words. We give power to our situation. We give power to what God is calling us to be. And so, man, God, let there be light. Now, typically when I'm doing these episodes, I typically have several principles that I want you to learn from each episode. But this morning, I only have one. And that's embrace the darkness. Outlast the temporary. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The hard times that they're facing, that hard season, it's going to leave at some point. But you will stay. But will you remain the same, or will you be a greater version of yourself? You got to be willing to embrace the darkness. Now, if you're on my YouTube or if you're on Spotify, I'm about to do like a quick example about something. And so y'all bear with me. I've never done something like this before, but we're going to do an example. I cut the lights off. Now, with me cutting the lights off, my voice has not changed. My voice is still here. There's a reason why I did that, because in the darkness, you're still there. You haven't gone. You haven't vanished. You're still there. Your voice is still there. Your mind is still there. Your heart, your desire is still there. God is still there. I just got to sit here long enough in order for the light to come back on. And once the light comes back on, then I can keep going and doing what God has called me to do. But there may be a season where it's dark, but just because it's dark in that moment doesn't mean it's going to last. Outlast the temporary. Be different than somebody else. Other people may give up. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on my dreams. I'm not giving up on my future family. I'm not giving up on God. I'm going to embrace. I'm going to walk through this. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for God is with me. In that dark season that you're in, God is with you. In the trials that you are facing, God is with you. Whatever it is that you feel like you can't overcome, that you can't get past, remember, God is with you. So the command that I want you to just stick with, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about how God is with you. But this episode, there's only one command that I want you to really learn, really hone in. God, let there be light. God, cut the lights on so I can see. God, this is difficult. I don't understand this season. I don't understand this proposal. I don't understand this plan. I don't understand this homework. I don't understand this woman. I don't understand this man. I don't understand this. God, let there be light. Show me the light. Give me the wisdom. Give me the discernment. Give me the knowledge to be able to get past this. Now, hear me well. Don't tell God to take you from it. Tell God to take you through it. When I'm in these situations, I talk to God and I say, God, don't take me out of it, because if he takes me out of it, at some point I'm going to have to repeat it. And if I didn't learn my lesson the first time, I'm going to run into the same brick wall the next time. God, this is difficult for me. Help me get through this. Teach me how to fish. Teach me how to get through this situation. Teach me what it is that I'm missing, that I need to learn, that I need to grow. Teach me so that I won't have to revisit this phase in my life. Teach me so I don't have to revisit this place in my life again. Darkness is going to continue to come. But I got to be willing to command the light to shine in the areas that I can't see, in the areas of my life, in the areas of my mind, in the areas of my heart, so that I don't repeat this same stage. I'm looking to go forward, not back. I'm looking to move forward, not stagnant. I'm looking to continue to put one foot in front of the next, because there's some place that I got to get to. There's something that I'm trying to chase. There's something that I'm trying to accomplish. There's somebody that I'm trying to inspire. There's somebody that I'm trying to make proud. There's somebody that I'm trying to make happy. There's somebody that I'm trying to show that the sacrifice was worth it, that the love was worth it, that it all was worth it, because I found a way to get through it and make it to the finish line. You're going to get to the finish line. But the only way that you're going to get to it is if you go through the darkness. You got to go through the hard times. I know it's tough. And again, as I always say, you have my sympathy. I'm right here with you. I'm right here walking with you. I'm right here praying for you. I'm right here giving you as much inspiration and motivation as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, you got to be the one to put that foot in front of the next. You got to be willing to one to switch your mindset, switch your perspective, and say, this is working for me, not against me. This is helping me, not hurting me. God wouldn't put more on me than I could bear. So if you're in this place right now, I hope this message, I hope this episode is cutting on the lights in your mind, cutting on the lights in your heart, cutting on the lights in your situation, because you're going to make it. But you got to be able to embrace it. So if you feel like this episode really spoke to you, really helped you learn how to embrace these hard times that are either here or going to come, I want you to share, like, subscribe to this video, to this podcast, to this page, and I want you to share it with somebody. For your homework this week, I want you to sit down and write about a dark moment that you are either facing, previously faced, or you feel like may be on the horizon. And I want you to write right beside it, God, let there be light. God, help me through this season. God, let there be light on this heartache that I'm facing, on this trial that I'm experiencing, and watch what God does. And so thank you all for tuning in to episode 7. As always, keep dreaming.
You gotta be able to dream again. After you accomplish that one dream, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to God, you owe it to your family to be able to do it again, to dream again. But when you dream again, you're not only dreaming for yourself, somebody else is